Hello, friends, and welcome to today's episode of Booked. I'm your host, Saffron Asteria, and I'm joined today by Libby Tanner. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I was just dancing to your intro music.
Isn't it so funky?
Good
I love
stuff.
it.
Yeah, I like it.
It gets stuck in my head all the time.
Of course, you can see that.
It haunts me in my sleep. When I'm at the grocery store, I'll hear something similar and it'll get stuck in my head. It's a constant thing, but maybe that means it's working.
It is. I'm also going to be haunted by this, and I don't even mind.
Oh, I'm happy for you, honestly. It's jaunty. It's not like a miserable, like
jaunty.
sad sound. So hopefully it'll brighten your day one day. So we already have Sarah that's joined us. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you. So before I ramble on with a bunch of questions, could you tell us a bit about who you are as a writer and what you do?
Absolutely. So I am Libby Tanner, and I write sweet rom-coms, usually with very strong protagonists. And there's always a theme of going after your dreams, chasing the thing that means the most to you, overcoming obstacles, and finding the success and passion that you're looking for. I am very new to the writing game. So my debut novel just came out last summer, Better Than Gelato. And the last year has been crazy and amazing. Cramazing.
I love it.
Yes, all of my dreams from when I was a kid, I wanted to be a writer. And it's all kind of came together very quickly that I, finished a novel and then found an agent and then got a book deal and then we've got it published. So the last 18 months has been pretty awesome. I still have a lot to learn. I feel like a toddler just wandering around New York City trying to figure things out, but I love it. It's been a really fun ride.
That's so amazing. I don't often get to hear the everything happened in a whirlwind speech from people, because a lot of people aren't able to go through that sort of series of events in such a short space of time. So it must have been like a whoa moment for you.
That is true. I'm very lucky. And publishing, I should say, in general, is slow. It is very slow. But things kind of fell into place for me and lined up really nicely. So it worked out great. So far, so good.
Oh, I'm so happy for you. That's so nice. We need inspirational stories to keep us going, I think. So I'm actually going to start asking you about the whole process. From okay, so my book's finished and you go and find an agent. How was that experience for you? Did you have to send out a bunch of queries? Was it part of an event? How did you get your deal?
Okay, so not to take it from inspirational to heartbreaking, but I would say that querying agents is probably one of the worst things I've been involved in.
Yeah.
So and I've potty trained 4 kids, so this ranks worse than potty training. You finish your novel and you're so excited and you're full of all of this energy. And then you do have to send out query letters to all of these agents. And there's just so much rejection, which of course I knew. But you just, this shiny little thing you're so excited about and you can't wait to share it with somebody else. And they're just like, nope, not for me, not for me. So I had a system that really helped me kind of, mediate that soul-crushing rejection. And I'm a huge fan of Jessica Brody's Writing Mastery Academy, and she has a whole system for querying agents, and I think it helps so much to get you through the process so you don't just drown in a pit of despair. And it involves a spreadsheet, and I wish I had my spreadsheet to show you because it is epic. It's color coded, and we've got all of the different agents that I think might love this work. And then I've got all of my notes about them and all their contact information. And I had 2 different query letters, so I'm doing some A/B testing to see what people like the most. And then I'm putting in my notes about, nope, she didn't like it. Nope, she hated it. Nope, she said she liked it, still didn't want to rep me. So all of that stuff goes in there. And it took about 4 months. And then I found Katie Monson with SBR Literary Agency, and we were a great match. So that's how that started. And then sent my manuscript off to her. And just when you're like, I've got an agent, I'm living the dream, it's all coming together, then that agent submits your manuscript to a bunch of different publishers. And then you get the second round of rejections that, again, don't feel great. But here's my other tip for that saved my life.
Mhm.
Is once I handed this off to Katie, I basically said, "My sweet, better than gelato, I love you with all of my heart. You're dead to me now, and I'm moving on." And that really helped. I jumped right into another writing project about
Mhm.
a con man who loses his memory, and then he's, has to track down all the pieces of his life, but it's all made up. And I went just deep dive into this new manuscript,
Mhm.
and I didn't have like the same tender pain in my heart every time Katie would come back and say, they're not interested. With Better Than Gelato, because I write sweet romances,
Mhm.
it's sizzling and swoony, but it's closed door, like PG-13.
Mhm.
I wouldn't call it clean, but it's PG-13. And it's a spicy, spicy world. So we had a lot of publishers that were like, we'd really like some spicy scenes, preferably with dragons or mafia. And I'm all, well, that's not what I write. So it took a while till we found our home with City Owl Press. But again, having another project that I was really sucked into and having a fun time with helped make that time when you're out on submission. It can be so nerve-wracking. Helped make that time a little bit easier for me. And then, of course, when we did land with City Owl Press and I signed those papers, then it was like, of course, Better Than Gelato. It was always you. You're not dead to me. I love you with all my heart. And I danced around my kitchen and we had a gelato party and it was amazing.
Oh,
so
nice.
That was my process of how I got there.
Oh, that's a really good idea. I suppose it's like quitting smoking. If you've got a nicotine patch, it just makes it a little bit easier.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would just be like, well, it doesn't matter that nobody's interested in this manuscript Better Than Gelato, which, I mean, it has my whole heart. So that was a little bit of a lie I was telling myself. But I was like, because I know that doesn't matter because this one is going to be a bestseller, snatched up so good. I can feel it. And that got me through.
That's amazing. I love that tactic because you're nurturing your creativity at that point rather than just wallowing in the pit of misery.
Yes.
Which isn't helpful.
Yeah. The pit of misery doesn't have ice cream. It's not a good place to spend a lot of your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could, you changed it into an ice cream pit of happiness. So that's fine. That's fine. We can deal with that.
And that's the magic of creativity, that you can take a pit of despair and turn it into an ice cream pit of happiness.
There you go. That's a tagline for you.
Perfect.
So we've also had Grant join us. I'm not going to tell my nephew that he needs to change the intro. It's perfect the way it is. And quitting after 8 queries, I think if your desire to be published through a publisher or to be represented by an agent is strong enough, then you'll wait it out and and go through all of that rejection. But I think if you can decide that quickly that you'd rather just have the story out there, then you kind of answer that question for yourself. And I think it's good to try stuff like that, especially if it's really difficult and challenging. As the same word, but in different ways. Difficult and challenging.
But I get what he's saying. And, 8 queries, I know it can seem like a lot just getting rejected over and over. I think by the end I'd sent out about 40. So
that's pretty good odds.
For me, I guess am one of those insecure creatives where it's like, I need the validation of a literary agent and a publisher.
Yeah.
And that was really the path that I had my heart set on. Mm-hmm. So an author friend of mine said, the people who become published authors are the ones who don't quit. And I really appreciate that because it's not always the ones with the most talent. It's not always the one with like the brilliant plot. It's the ones who stick with it and don't quit. So if you know that traditional publishing is for you, just stick with it. Come up with a system that makes the process as comfortable as it can be, and then stick with it. On the other hand, if you're like, no, I see those hoops, I'm not jumping through them, that's also fine, because I also have author friends who's like looked into getting a literary agent, thought nope, and just went and self-published. And I think that's great too. It's your journey, however you want to do it.
Well, this is it. And I think everybody has their dreams about what they want to do, and they have their own ideas of success. And yeah, it looks different for everybody. And it's good that we have the option to do self-publishing. But I'm glad that you were able to achieve your dreams. That's very exciting. And also, got a big fan of your energy over here. Make that 2 because you have got great energy.
Sarah Saffron, yes.
So you don't have to be honest about this question.
Okay, perfect. I need permission to lie, but I like it, but I appreciate it.
When you were receiving feedback and from the publishers, and they're saying, you know, we could do with a bit of this, we could do with a bit of that, were you at all, even just for a fleeting moment, tempted to add those things into the story?
Ooh, no.
Okay.
No, just because the story was what it was, and I was totally okay shelving this and just being like, hey, this is a story that didn't make it out into the world right now, and I'm super okay with this. And this isn't really about like creative integrity. My editor comes at me with like, hey, we should do this and this, and I'm like, done. Yeah, you think the readers are gonna love it? I love it. Let's do it. Like, I'm not a purist. I'm not like, it needs to be this way. It's like, hey, these are stories. They're meant to entertain and give us a good time. So I'm super fine making a lot of adjustments to my work. As far as like adding spicy scenes to it, it's just not for me. And I have no judgments against authors and readers who love the spicy. I read the whole spectrum. I really do. But it's just what I'm comfortable writing is a PG-13. And I will say that my daughter, Ayla Metcalf, shout out to that sweet girl, has read all of my books. I've written 4 books now, and she's read all of them. And so has my mother-in-law, and so has my mom. And I love that I can share these books with people, and I don't have to cringe and be like, if you could just skip chapter 13, that would be really great so that we can make eye contact again after this. I would really appreciate that. For me, it's nice that I just don't have to worry about that.
Yeah. No, I totally get you. It was just a curiosity because I sometimes wonder when people have like a dream of achieving something, how much they will change to achieve that dream, or whether they'll stick with what they're going to do. Because at the end of the day, like, yes, you got a publishing deal and that's amazing, but not everybody. Okay, I'm going to say that again. I think I say this every single episode. You shouldn't go into writing specifically just to make money, because you can do it, it's achievable, but the percentage is very tiny. So you've got to enjoy what you write. You have to enjoy what you write, because you spend a ton of time and stress and blood, sweat, and tears getting like the plot right, that you have to love it.
Yeah, and you know what? I like to think that if somebody was offering me a cool million, I'd be like, fine, let's get the crazy dragon sex happening. maybe not. But you hit it right on the head, is that at the end of the day, I'm not doing this for financial reasons. You know, I'm doing it to fulfill my own creative craziness that would just come bursting out of my head if I didn't write. So I'm doing it for my mental health and creativity. And so if I made it something that I didn't feel super proud of, it would be like, what's the point?
Yeah, no, I totally get you. So when did you start writing fiction, like, at all? Like, not just this specific book, just like, when did you start committing yourself to telling stories?
I mean, like when I was a kid, I have, I think hold on. Okay.
You've got a prop.
I do.
Yes, I love props.
So this is a book that I wrote in the 5th grade.
No, stop
I don't know if you can see it. It is called Jane Bond, A Date with Danger. And I felt like women were not represented enough in like the James Bond action and adventure books. So I wrote this in the 5th grade. I was very excited. And it's not good. I mean, it's terrible. But I love writing since I was a kid. And when I found out that like that could be your job, that like you could be an author, I was like, yes, that's what I want to do. And then something kind of terrible happened, which I suppose happens to everybody. You get to college and then you like just realize that, yeah, I've got student loans to pay off. Like, I can't be a creative writing major. What will that do for me? Yeah. And I played it safe, and I did not get my degree in creative writing. And then I got married. We have 4 wonderful kids. For a long time, it was just like laundry and diapers was my life.
Mhm.
And at a certain point, I, again, for my own sanity, needed to like use my brain. So I felt like more than just a dairy cow. And I started writing after bedtime. And
Mhm.
I would like just sit there on the couch typing. And then my husband, and like, cackling to myself. And then my husband, I remember he said one night, I haven't seen you this happy in a long time, which is a
Aw.
fairly terrible thing to say because I've got these great kids and this wonderful husband and a wonderful life.
Mhm.
But I think, tapping into that thing that you love and that you're passionate about, it brings a different kind of happiness and fulfillment in.
It does.
And I just felt like, yeah, I need to make more time for this. And so Better Than Gelato is actually the very first full-length novel that I wrote.
Oh,
And
is it? Okay.
I'm very lucky to have that get picked up because I know sometimes, it'll take maybe your 4th book before you get any traction and you get to share it with the world. So I feel very lucky that it was maybe about 5 years ago that I started like taking it seriously, writing early, getting up early in the morning before anybody in my family was awake and then writing late into the night after bedtime. And then, this book was completed and then I found an agent and a publisher. But it took me a while to remember that even while I am a wife and a mom and so lucky to have all these great things in my life, it's okay to want more.
Yes.
It's okay to follow this dream that you've had in your heart, and maybe you just have been too busy taking care of everybody around you. So I am a huge proponent of people everywhere, but I find it very common among women to look into your own heart and find the things you want, and don't be afraid to go after them, even if it means letting people around you fend for themselves a little bit more.
Yeah. They'll be fine.
They'll
They'll
be
be fine while you write
fine.
the book.
They'll be
It's
fine.
okay.
Cereal for dinner. It's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you were able to do something so huge for yourself, because there are a lot of people that will, as you say, especially women, that will let the needs of other people get in the way of their dreams. And then what? You look back when you're like 80 and you think, oh, I wish I'd have done that. It's much better to just go, sorry guys, I'm going to do this thing. And the thing is that they're going to love you anyway.
Yes, and that's
It'll
the
be
thing
fine.
that has been so amazing to me, as I really felt like I was doing it for myself. And honestly, it felt a little bit selfish at the beginning, and I just had to make my peace with that.
Mhm.
But here's the part, it's not just for you, because when you show up as your best creative self, it affects everybody around you. You are just happier and more excited, and you're a better mom, better wife, better employee or friend or coworker or partner. Like when you are living a true creative life, I think it just radiates out to all of the people around you. And you're welcome, family, for me pursuing this thing that lights me up, and then I'm able to spread that love and energy to you guys. It really is not a selfish thing. It is a wonderful thing. And I'll tell you what, this is a thing that I did not expect. My kids, all 4 of my kids are readers. They would read books all day, and dig holes in our backyard. That's all they want to do. Dig a bunch of holes, read a bunch of books. I don't know.
Fantastic. Book holes.
Yes.
Dig a hole, sit in it, read a book.
Read a book. It's great. What else do you need? So to them, authors are like rock stars. Like
Nice.
it's like Taylor Swift to my kids, because I have published a real life book and they love books and they think authors are amazing. And I didn't expect that part of it, that my kids would feel so proud of me and that I would feel so happy to like be an example to them. And since I got this book deal, my 3 oldest kids are all writing novels. We've got a fantasy, we've got a spy, and then my 10-year-old's really into World War II. We might be concerned about that.
Random.
Yeah.
But topical.
Yes. They're excited about it, and they're like, oh yeah, mom wrote a book, I can write a book. And I love making that feel more accessible to them. That like, yes, of course you can. Let's do it. Let's be a book writing family.
Oh, that's so cool.
It's so cool.
One of my favorite things is that when I speak to my dad, he asks me what I'm reading. That's one of my favorite things.
I love that.
I just think, oh yeah, that's really cool. I love that you're able to be a positive creative influence for your family, and it's actually working. Because I do know some authors that like my kids could not give two hecks about what I do, which is fine. It's not for everybody, but yeah. I'd like to go back to your point about, doing something that you really, really love, especially something creative. Because when I first moved to the States, I was like, what am I going to do with my life? Because I did like cool stuff when I lived in England, and I was like, I can't do those cool things here. And I was like, I'm just going to do this thing. And it's kind of escalated and blown up bigger than I thought it was ever going to be. And you know what? I'm having the best friggin' time.
Yes.
And then my husband's like, wow, you're in a good mood all the time. And I'm like, yeah.
Right? Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm doing what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. Because when we're living creative, happy lives, then we just feel fulfilled and happy, and it affects everything else we do. I swear I cook yummier dinners because I am living my dream as an author. I have no scientific data for that, but I'm telling you, I think that that's the truth. I just think it has a ripple effect that we become better at everything.
Well, I think the food thing is an actual thing, because I was a chef for years, and you could tell when I was in a bad mood. You could tell.
That's hilarious.
In the food.
Fantastic. I love that. What kind of food do you cook? Or what's your favorite dish to make?
Oh God, it depends on my mood. For a long time, I made like wedding cakes, and I catered weddings. I worked in restaurants for a while. I didn't really like that very much, but I much preferred like events and parties and things like that. And I love making canapes. Huge fan of a canape. Tiny little things.
Yes, they always look so cute. Too cute to eat.
Yeah, I love them. So every time I get an excuse to make tiny food,
it's perfect.
Love to do that. I do that for myself sometimes at lunch, because I think I just have a little treat. So I've been reading Better Than Gelato, because so romance isn't my kind of thing. But when I was reading this, I think I got about 100 pages in so far, because I've been trying to keep up with all the books for this show, and it's just I'm just trying to read at least the third.
You have 3 guests a week. How are you doing that?
I'm not. That's the problem. But I'm trying. So this book absolutely reads as a love letter to Italy. Okay. Like, you can tell how much you love Italy. And I didn't read your website before I read it. I just went straight into the book. I didn't even look at the blurb. I just went, right, that's the book. I'm going to read it.
Perfect.
And that's how it came across. And then when I looked on your website and it says that actually it was inspired by real events, I was like, that absolutely makes sense. That's how it comes across. So can you tell what happened in Italy?
Okay. So here's the thing, and I'm going to level with you, okay?
Okay.
This book is like 95% nonfiction.
I'm so pleased.
And I only published it as a fiction novel because I did not want to own up to the dumb things I did when I was 20, of which there are many. Yeah. So
club.
Right. And I don't think anybody should be held accountable for the things they did when they were 20. Like, you're supposed to be dumb and reckless, and that's fine. So this was after my first year of college. It was actually at the end of my first year of college. And I was having like a midlife crisis, which is weird at the age of 20. But I really had a thing that was like, I don't even know what I'm doing with my life. What am I going to study? Just existential. I don't know what was going on there. But I was in my Italian class, and I remember my professor said, hey, there's a family in Italy that's looking for a nanny for the next year. Talk to me after class if you're interested. And Saffron, I swear to you, like, my heart started pounding, like my hands are sweating. And I just knew in that moment, this is for me. This is the universe just delivering this up for me on a silver platter. And I snatched it. And I got that number, and I called that family. And within 5 minutes, they said, yep, we love you. Let's come on over. And I had the job booked. And I flew to Italy. And I spent the next year was one of the best and most transformative years of my life. I, explored the whole country of Italy. I grew up a lot, went out dancing every single week, fell in with a great group of friends that just really felt like family, and then fell in love for the first time, which just knocked me off my feet. Was not expecting it. And embarrassingly, in a country full of very handsome and charming Italian men, I fell in love with an American.
Of course you did.
Not to. You'll see that in the book. I tried.
I know, I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. You're battling with it. So how much of it did you have to make up?
Very little's made up. And I don't want to spoil things,
Yes.
but I will say that the gentleman I fell in love with in Italy, and we spent a wonderful year together, you know, traveling all over and just amazing. I am not currently married to that gentleman.
Oh, okay.
So I will tell you, better than gelato, you absolutely get your happily ever after.
Okay.
You will read their story and you will see this character that you've watched fall in love and they end up together. I'm not gonna spoil that for anybody. But me and my gentleman did not end up together. About a month after our breakup, which of course is just like shattering because it's your first time and you just feel like your heart has been like trampled on by rhinos. And I met my husband a month later.
Wow.
Yeah. And then that relationship took a long time because I was like, no, I just got my heart crushed. I'm not jumping into things again. Are you a lunatic? That was not fun back there. I did not care for the crying and the crying. No.
Yeah.
But my husband is a sweet and patient man, and he gave me all the space I needed. And we dated for about 3 years, and then we got married. And I will say now that my husband has been so incredibly supportive and fantastic and encouraging about me writing a romance novel about an ex-boyfriend.
That was going to be my next question.
Yes. So he started reading it, you know.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yes, because he's like, you know, wants to like support and do the thing. Started reading it. Couldn't. He's like, no, I can't read about you kissing other men. I can't. And
I get it.
That's fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
So he has been great and supportive. The book is dedicated to him. He really is just a unicorn of husbands. But the story is about another gentleman. And I will tell you some more embarrassing news if you're ready for it.
I'm always ready for embarrassing news. You don't have to preface it. Just hit me with it.
Okay.
Okay.
I, at the urging of my publisher, had to reach out to the gentleman that this book is about. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Probably the most embarrassing message I've sent in a decade, which, by the way, I didn't have this guy's number. We had zero contact for 20 years. The last thing I said to him was like, never call me again. Have a good life. Boop, boop. So I had to, we actually were like friends on Goodreads, which I didn't realize, but like we were on social media. And then I was like, okay. So I had to send him this message that went, hey, like, remember that year we spent together dating? Like, it's not like I think about it. It's not like I wrote a full-length romance novel about it. And if I did, I definitely didn't change the ending, so we ended up together. That would be great.
That sounds so
I mean, I actually did do all those things, and it is getting published. Hope you're doing well, Libby.
Wow.
So, it was terrible. My husband was cackling with glee. He thought it was the funniest thing in the whole world that I had to reach out to this guy and send him this message. And I was mortified. Yeah.
The question that I know is going to be on everyone's lips is, did he respond?
Okay, he did.
Oh, amazing. What happened?
Okay, so I'm just spilling it. So here's all the things. He replied, and then he didn't see my response. He didn't see my message for like a couple of months. Like, who's checking their Goodreads messages?
Tense.
Yeah. And for me, I was hoping that he wouldn't actually see it or respond. And I just like checked the box, you know, accountability issues done. I did it. I did my due diligence. I was really hoping he never saw that message. But then a couple months later, he responds. But then I didn't see his message for a couple months after that. We were traveling through Italy actually with our kids. And then when we came home and then I went on to Goodreads, I tried to avoid it because the reviews get me anxious. But then I saw that he had sent me a message, and I'll tell you something. he sent a message and it was like, hey, congratulations. That's really wonderful. Best of luck.
Oh.
And then the next day he sent me another message.
Oh, okay.
And this one was longer.
Think about it.
And this one was longer. And this was so funny because, and I'm trying not to spoil all the things, but there is a scene in Better Than Gelato towards the end when Julia and Jake are reunited after some time apart. And the things that Jake says to Juliet in this scene, things that I had already written, sent to my publisher, were done. I swear were word for word things in this message from my old boyfriend. He's saying, like, I think, I feel terrible about the way we ended things. I think about what I could have done differently. I wish I would have, told you these things. Like, they were literally word for word taken from the ending of my book. And I was like, did I nail that character or did I nail that character? Because
that's fantastic.
It was uncanny, and very, really sweet, really encouraging, really like just a wonderful and heartfelt response, which was
that's
great.
nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
I was a little bit on edge when he said that he'd sent a long message. I thought long messages are very rarely a good sign.
No, it was wonderful and just sweet as can be, and made me feel really great. I mean, and of course, my husband is following along with all this drama. So as soon as I get this message, I'm calling him up at work. I'm like, you're never going to believe who just responded to my message. He's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, let me read it for you. So he's also, it felt like we're back in the 7th grade and we're like texting like, oh my gosh, look what he said. It is what it is. I'm 42 and sometimes I revert back to a 7th grader. It's fine.
You have to have the whimsy in your life. There's no point in being a grown-up all the time because life's too short and too long.
Fair, yes.
Yeah, definitely. That is amazing, and I'm so glad that you told me that. I am over the moon.
I'm going to say, don't tell a soul, as this says to all of your listeners.
Yes, all 7 of them.
The 7 of you.
That's amazing. That's truly fantastic. That is such a good. You should get him to write a blurb.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Like blurbed on there. Most of this is true. It was a good year. I'm hoping he doesn't read it in my message to him. I specifically didn't tell him the title or when it was coming out. So.
Honestly, if it were me, if I were that dude, I would be pre-ordering that. I'd be reading it. I'd get my little highlighters out. I'll have little like sticky notes in there going, well, that didn't happen. And I'd be analyzing that with like one of those crazy boards that they have on crime shows with the string and stuff. Yeah.
And here's the thing. This was my first book, and none of my other books are based on real events. There are, 2 other books in the Ciao Bella series, and they're delightful, but they're, not this experience. And I think because this was my first, like, I'm literally pulling from old journals and like diary entries. And then when I'm reading it back, I was like, I really put that in there. Like, these are word for word fights that we had. And I'm like, oh, if he's reading that, he's probably like, I knew she was still mad about that. Or, like, I can't believe that she remembers that fight. Like, I almost wish I hadn't put in so much personal information, like the very tender Christmas gift that he gave me and the things he said. And I kind of wish that I would have like held back a little bit, but I truly didn't expect this book to see the light of day. So I just like put it all in there. I'm telling it how it happened. Which is maybe good. I think that comes across, but now, which is a little bit sad. Now I feel like I'd be a little bit more reserved and be like, well, maybe he wouldn't want this to, he wasn't even in my head. I was just writing my experience. And then afterwards it's like, oh, turns out it was also his experience. And maybe he didn't want all those personal things shared. Sorry about that.
We don't know his real name though. So it'll be
No.
I mean, I'm pretty good at internet sleuthing, so I might find him, but I won't say anything.
I'll tell you what, I did a book club and these sweet, wonderful friends of mine, some of them, were friends that I knew, turned into a pack of hyenas. And they're like, just tell us where he works. Just tell us what, like his last name. And I was like, no, I will absolutely not tell you this person's identity. But they were scary.
Yeah, I bet they were.
Yeah.
Sometimes the gossip urge is so strong.
Yes.
that you lose all sense of normalcy, I think.
And
And also
what
we don't
least
have
they can do is keep his name private.
Yeah, I think that's probably a good idea.
Probably the best. And nobody's getting sued, so that's good.
And also we don't have to worry about Sarah because she doesn't count as a soul.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Can we look into that a little bit? Why? Why doesn't she count as a soul?
I don't know. Sarah, if you'd like to tell us.
Let's
I
unpack that, Sarah. What's going on?
More of a spectre hanging out in the comic.
I heard that was a myth.
Well, everything's a myth until you see the evidence. So, Sarah?
Sarah, we need more information.
We do.
No.
So going to the Ciao Bella series, so you have Better Than Gelato that came out in August 2025.
Yeah.
You've got Bigger Than Versace.
Yes.
I'm seeing the pattern in these names. I like it. Coming out June this year. And you've got Brighter Than Times Square coming out January 2027.
Yes.
2027. The 2027th year. So these, I noticed by looking at the blurbs, they are completely different main characters and different storylines. But is it all set in Italy? I'm guessing that Brighter Than Times Square isn't going to be, but you tell me.
Good guess, Saffron. So yes, it is a series, but each one is a standalone book.
Okay.
And when my publisher first approached me about writing sequels, they're like, "Have you ever thought about writing a sequel to this?" And I was like, no, this is one marvelous year. And then it was done. And like, nope, not a sequel. And then, but the idea kind of stuck with me. And then the more I thought about it, the more it actually really lends itself to a great series, because this sweet family in Milan, they got a new nanny every single year. And she was always American and she was always from my university. It just kind of like, it wasn't like a nanny agency. It was just like word of mouth. Like I found the next couple of nannies and sent them their way. But so they got a new nanny every single year. And the more I thought about that, the more I thought this would be a really fun way to continue the story. So you have Isa, who is our precocious 6-year-old and then 7-year-old in the next book. And you have the city of Milan, and you have the same friend group, because in real life, there was a nanny phone and it just had everybody's phone numbers in it. And like in September, like the social director of the crew would just call the new nanny and be like, "Hey, we're your friends. Come hang out with us."
That's wild.
I know. And it was amazing. And so you have a chance to stay in the same wonderful, beautiful Milan and with the same funny child that you're nannying and the same group of friends, but you have a whole different main character and a whole different love story and a whole different dream that she is chasing. And it was particularly fun because in the second book, Bigger Than Versace, in the first book, Juliet, I mean, you've seen her, she's just dazzled by Italy and loves it and feels so happy and lucky to be there. And Lydia, the protagonist of our second novel, is furious. She has just been kicked out of her second private school, and she has been sent to Milan as an indentured servant, and she hates it. And she spends the whole first section trying to get home. And then she discovers that Issa's dad, Marco, is a fashion designer, and her love and passion is fashion. So she kind of weasels her way into an internship at a studio and then meets Nico Moretti, one of the models there, and their story unfolds. But it was really fun to write the same setting and some of the same characters from a different, meaner character. Mean characters are the most fun to write. So while Juliet is like, "It's so beautiful and enchanting," and Lydia's like, "These buildings are old. Everything here is old. There's all these cracks in the cobblestones, and like these friends are ridiculous." And anyways, it was very fun to write from such a different point of view. She definitely has a different energy to her.
It sounds it. So what about Brighter Than Times Square?
Okay, of course. That I'm actually just finishing up revisions and sending that to my editor this week. And so that I thought it would be fun. I mean, I love a series, but also like I don't love writing the same thing over and over. So I did 2 nannies, loved it, but I'm like, I don't want to do a 3rd nanny. I'll tell you what I want to do is I want to take our sweet Isa. She was never all that sweet, actually. I also had to send her a message too, and and tell her that the book was coming out. I just sent her on Facebook because we are Facebook friends.
Mhm.
And I also had to be like, I made you look really terrible in the books, but I didn't feel that way. And she's like, no, of course not. It's just fiction. But between you and me, I didn't exaggerate that much. That's all I'm going to say. So I thought it would be really fun for the third book to age Issa up. She's now 23 and give her own adventure.
That's cool.
She is, at the beginning of the book, she's a model, a runway model in Milan, and her boyfriend proposes to her backstage, very private, and she turns him down. She's not in love with him, and it feels like too much, and so she turns him down. And then she goes to walk her very last ensemble onto the runway and sees 3 of the runway models are still out there, and they're holding signs that say, she said yes. And the crowd is cheering and clapping and yelling. And she's like, oh my gosh. So she doesn't know what to do. She takes the sign that says yes, puts it on the ground, and then continues her walk through the runway and backstage. And the internet explodes. People are taking sides. Cold-hearted model breaks boyfriend's heart. Her boyfriend's father was actually Paolo Zottolo, the designer. So she gets fired, and then no other designers will want to work with her because of the controversy there. So she's desperate and needs a job. And her agent, says, hey, I've got a friend, Tony, in New York City, and he's got a job. He's going to call you. So Tony calls. There's a bad connection. Her English is mostly okay, but she's missing some things. But he's like, yeah, it's for 6 weeks and it starts next week. And we'll fly you out there. It's not paid, but housing is taken care of. And she's just desperate to get out of Milan. So she's like, yes, 6 weeks in New York City. That's exactly what I need. Goes there. And then it's not until she shows up that she realizes that her modeling gig is actually the Model United Nations conference in New York City. And she is stuck for this summer with these suit-wearing, super serious geopolitical experts. And it kind of has almost a Legally Blonde feel to it when Elle Woods goes to Harvard. And she's just that fish out of water. And so that was really fun to write and share about her. She's a fantastic delegate because she has always gotten her way her whole life and is very good at manipulating people. So it's really fun to explore some of those. And I promised my daughter, Ayla, she said, when you make her a grown-up, don't make her boring, Mom. And I said, okay. So I still tried to keep some of that fiery passion to her. Not quite unhinged, but, she throws things. She yells. And it's fun. And it was really fun having kind of a brand new setting in New York City and having her experience that for the first time.
Oh, that's so much fun. I love that you've been able to keep kind of the same background cast, but then focus on different people.
Yeah.
Because I was wondering how it was going to go to a series with the MCs that we had in the original.
I know. Is it terrible? It's like, after you're in love, we don't care about you. Move out of the way. We just want to watch people fall in love. We're not actually interested in seeing you guys live your lovey-dovey life. It feels like that's how romance books are. Like, move on to the next couple.
Yeah, because you don't want to think about all of the normal stuff that they'll do where it's all kind of settled down. There's no drama and they're just choosing their shopping list for the grocery store and
not as fun.
Yeah. I mean, I love doing that, but I don't want to read about it.
Yes, we want something a little more spectacular.
Yeah, exactly.
One more thing I will say that was kind of funny about Bigger Than Versace was, so we had Better Than Gelato, and I had this idea that because our main character was into fashion, I really wanted to be bigger than Versace. And of course, the theme for all of these titles is what is better than gelato? Falling in love. What is bigger than Versace? Falling in love. What is brighter? It's a thing. And so I really wanted this Bigger Than Versace. And my publisher was like, no, we do not want to put their name on our book. I don't think we can use that name. We're going to get sued. And why does Libby Tanner keep trying to get our company sued? Writing about real things. And I tried a million other titles. I was kind of insufferable, like interrogating my family and friends about what do you think of sharper than stilettos? And anyways, I just wanted bigger than Versace. And so my publisher reached out to Versace to say, could we use your name in our title? They definitely, I think, did not necessarily expect an answer back, but then Versace did respond, and their reply was very unexpected. They said, we want to read the book. And I was like, oh, okay, that's fair. So like my editor hadn't seen this. Nobody at my publisher had seen this. I had finished it, and I'm pretty meticulous, so it was in very good shape. But I was like, okay, we'll just send this over to Versace, I guess.
Why not?
There's some random person, probably an intern at Versace, who read an early copy of that manuscript, and I guess they liked it because they came back and said, yes, you can use our name.
Wow, that's really cool.
It was really cool. And I'm like, thank you very much. And if you would like to use the ensemble I designed in chapter 17, you may. You're welcome.
I think that's a fair deal.
I think it's fair. Yes.
More than fair, actually.
Yeah. It's actually Fashion Week going on in Milan right now. It's the 26th to March 4th, 26th of February to March 4th. So I'm keeping my eyes out. If there's a pair of like little black leather shorts with an oversized linen blazer, that was me, guys. That was me. I designed that.
Keep your eyes peeled. Okay. Or a copy of your book.
Yes.
An early copy where they've printed it out on a printer because it's not ready yet.
Yes.
Just under their arm.
Sure. Just like, hey, no big deal.
Printed onto the front of a dress. You don't know.
I wouldn't mind that. I think
good advertising.
Yeah.
Have you thought about connecting with them and seeing how you can team up for a marketing or PR scenario?
Oh my gosh, yes. Because I'm saying, I hear what you said was, yes, you can use the title. What I heard was, we'd love to do a collaboration with you. And we're going to see how that goes. They are big time. I am small time. It is unlikely that anything will come of it, but you better believe I'm going to try, because how else would that be? Yeah.
I mean, if they went to the lengths of reading it, and I assume it was largely to check to make sure you weren't slandering their business.
Right. This is not an expose on Versace.
Like, if they're willing to do that, what's a couple of advertisements?
That's what I say. That's what I say. So if they literally are holding a copy of this book down the runway, like maybe their fall show, could happen.
I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah. And maybe they've like put a little Sharpie and marked on the title so it says nothing is bigger than Versace. That's cool. If you want to do that, that's fine. I totally am okay with that.
It's a bit punk as well. I like that.
Yeah, I like it. It is a bit punk.
I think you should do it.
Okay.
You should go for it. And I'm assuming they're watching this show right now. So
I mean, I can only assume.
I can only assume. I thought of the 3 people that are watching right now.
Sarah,
at least 2 of them.
Versace. Yeah. You could ask her, Sarah, do you work for Versace?
I think undercover Versace.
Sure.
Apparently Sarah's had some very good gelato.
Okay. That's true. Yeah.
It is pretty good.
It really is.
From Italy. It's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, there's something to be said for love, but I think that gelato also is there for you when love sucks and has sent you crying into your bedroom. Then you will always have gelato, and there's some comfort in that.
The only time that gelato has ever made me cry is when it's finished.
Okay. Yes.
When it's over. Yes. But then there's always more, so that's always good.
We went to Italy with my kids. The only phrase that my children know in Italian is how to order gelato. They can all say, I would like a small cone of, and then their favorite flavor. Amazing. I was like, this is the important thing for you to learn in this language. And by day 12 or 13, they had it down. Amazing. Yeah.
Fantastic.
We're teaching them the important skills.
That is an important skill. That and maybe like, where's the bathroom? Sure. That'll come in time. So I always ask my guests 2 questions before they do. So the first one is, what is your idea as a writer of success? Okay, this is a great one because as you mentioned earlier, like
This I'm not buying any yachts with my book money, with my book earnings. Like I did some really fun book events a few weekends ago, and you're on panels and you're signing the cutest bookstores in Southern Florida, and it was so much fun. But then at the end of the night, I'm literally making like $1.07 on each book that I sold. So it's not, unless you hit it big and the movies come, awesome. I'm very open to that. If the world wants to bring it my way, I'm not saying no. I am really grateful that I'm in a situation where I do not have to be financially dependent on my creative work, which takes off all of the press and pressure and all of the stress. So for me, success is readers who like my book. And I don't care if you didn't buy it. Like if you borrowed it, if a book is getting passed around a whole family or a set of friends, I love that. I would love people to read this book and feel excited about, one, going after their own dreams, whatever those may be, and two, being open to love and feeling happier than they did when they started the book. So to me, that is success, is just providing an awesome reading experience for the readers.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah. I mean, and I love getting reviews. I was at this, the Coastal Magic Book Convention in Daytona last weekend, and it was incredible. And it was really neat to see people who'd read my book and, come up and signing their copies, and they're telling me the parts that they liked. And one of them kept a review journal of all the books she read, and then she would write a review for each one of them in her journal. And she had like little pictures of the cover and like little doodles of things around it. And I'm like, this is amazing. Like, I felt like a rock star, for one. And also it's just really cool to be like, wow, like this was an experience that I had, and then I put in a book, and then I've sent into the world, and now other people are having that experience. And that to me kind of blows my mind. Like maybe down the road I'll get used to it, but like year one, I'm like, it's blowing my mind. So I already feel like really successful, even though it's not like my book sales or anything spectacular, but just like, I have readers. They read my book and liked it.
That's so nice.
Yeah, it feels
so nice. Oh, I'm pleased for you. Before I ask my last question, we have a couple in the chat. So Grant has asked, what is the best flavor of gelato?
Okay.
Not necessarily the best. What's your favorite?
Okay, so I love stracciatella, which is like a creamy one with little chips of chocolate in there. And then they also one that's called wood fruit, that, I mean, it sounds terrible in English, like fruits of the wood, like fruit boschi, that is like a mix of like raspberry, blackberry, strawberry, and that's really yummy. And I really love when you can put like a chocolate or creamy one together with a fruity one, so that you're like getting them the both. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's a good choice. In England, we call that combination fruits of the forest.
Okay, there we go. Yes, fruits of the forest. That sounds nicer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I really love it. I don't think Graham was asking me. I'm going to answer.
I'm asking you. I need to know.
Thank you.
I'm looking into your soul right now.
Pistachio.
Okay. Pistachio. I am a new fan of pistachio. It wasn't until like very recently, my parents were traveling to Italy, and they're like, come and be our translator for a week. And I was like, no, that sounds terrible. Of course I will. And, I went, and we're getting gelato, as one does, in Genoa. And my dad got pistachio, and he's like, oh, try some of this. It's so good. And I'm like, oh, and I tried that, and I became an instant believer. And now I feel sad for like all of the times in my life where it's like, no, pistachio, that's terrible. It's not. It's amazing. And that is new to me. A lot of you probably already know, like, yes, of course, pistachio ice cream is amazing. I didn't know. I just found out recently.
But you found out, and that's what counts.
And that's what counts, just in time. Yeah.
Exactly. I'm so glad that you liked it, honestly.
It's so good.
I love it. It's so good. So I don't know if you've ever seen any episodes of this show before, but my friend Sarah here, she likes to ask a question about a TV show called The Wombles, which was popular in England.
Okay. So, I don't know the Wombles, but I'm interested to hear more.
So the Wombles, to the abridged version of this explanation, is the Wombles are these little characters, and I believe they're like hand puppets or something similar. And they had these big triangular faces. I can't do a triangle. Why don't know what I'm doing. They're these big triangular faces. I don't know.
I don't think that's
Like, I forgot
It's got 3 sides.
I forgot what shapes were. Like a big nose, like a big triangle nose.
The shapes are
They
hard.
are, especially when you have people watching live. But these little creatures, and they wander around Wimbledon in London collecting trash, basically, looking after the place, going on adventures. So Sarah likes to ask Womble questions during the show.
Yeah.
So while she is thinking of her Womble question, I'm going to ask you my final question.
Okay.
If you could go back to little Libby, who just started writing her awesome book, I can't remember the name of it, but it was Jane Bond.
Jane Bond, right? A Date with Danger.
It was incredible. Yeah. I think you should publish it. If you could give her any advice, what would you give?
Okay, so here's the thing. I think that I think this conversation would go down like this, right? Let's grab Libby at 11 years old, and I would say, "Hey, Libby, keep up your writing. You're amazing. You've got talent. You've got stories to share with the world. You're going to be an amazing writer. Keep it up. You're going to publish your books, and people are going to read them. It's going to be amazing." And little Libby would be like, "Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the plan." Like, I felt like I was way more self-assured of my place in the world as an amazing author at like 11 and 13 than I was at 35. So I feel like I actually need to go back to like my 30-year-old self and be like, "Listen, I know that you have a lot going on with all of the kids. Make some time for writing. It will keep you healthy and make you happy and will lead to something great." My younger self, she had all the confidence and she knew she was going to be a writer. It was done. This was the plan. It's as I got older, and I think that happens to us, right? Like when you're 10, you know you're going to be an astronaut, like NASA, we're doing this. And then you become, I don't know, practical, realist. And I think that's when like your midlife self needs to jump into maybe 30, 35 and be like, "Hey, remember that thing you used to do when you were a kid that made you so happy? Make some time for that. Like, maybe take some time to explore the things that you enjoy or go back to the things that you used to love when you were younger."
That's nice. I love that you're able to identify that you were a very confident kid, and life does happen and you go through these different phases of growth, and you have these periods of time where you think like, "Wow, why aren't I doing that really fun thing I wanted to do?" Like when I was a kid, I was like, "I'm going to be a truck driver or something, or a cult leader or whatever the hell it was."
Oh, I can see that. Yeah, you've got the cheekbones for it. Yep.
That's going to be my plan B for this. We're turning this into a cult if this doesn't go very well. Or maybe if it does go very well, then it...
Me, you, Sarah, Graham, we can make something of this.
Let's do it. So the final question, which is related to Wombles, what gelato flavor would you give a Womble? They live in Wimbledon and they live to recycle. So they're little tiny creatures that that are eco-friendly.
With the triangles, yeah.
It was like a cone head. Like, no, it was like this.
Okay, like a cheese, maybe. They have, okay. Let's see. Here's what I would do, okay? Gelato flavor for the Wombles. I think what they do is wonderful. I think that their eco-conscious efforts of recycling and cleaning up trash should be praised and rewarded, and I would give them bacio, which is kiss in Italian, and it's also a delicious flavor of ice cream, which has got chocolate and cream and hazelnuts in it. So I would do bacio gelato for the sweet Wombles.
That's adorable. That was a fantastic...
I need to watch this show. I need to get some more Wombles in my life.
It's really weird.
It's really weird.
It is. It's one of those shows where you think that was absolutely of its time. And Sarah would give them strawberries and cream, I think, because Wimbledon.
Oh, sure. That makes all the sense in the world. Yeah.
But yours was very heartfelt and very well thought out. So I think they'd be happy with whatever they got, really.
I mean, no gelato's bad.
It's very true. Very true. I just want to thank you so much for coming on the show today. I appreciate your time, and it was really nice to get to know you. You have some excellent stories, both your fictional and real life. So thank you for sharing those with us.
It's an absolute delight to be here. Thank you so much for having me on. Like,
it's my pleasure.
anytime it's like, hey, would you like to talk about books and writing? Yes, 100% yes. This is like the best part of my afternoon. I love it.
Oh, I'm so glad. Well, if you're watching this and you're looking for an author to come on your show or to interview, then Libby, she's here.
Yes, I am.
Thank you to everybody that joined us today. I appreciate every single one of you. If you're watching the recording, if you watch the live show, I'm just glad you're here. So take care of yourselves. And Libby, I will see you on the other side.
Okay.
Goodbye.
See ya.